They called him a bastard, a curse upon the village. A thief who stole for fun. But when the soul of his people was taken across the sea, only the cursed one could steal it back. In the village of Ubang, under a cocoa tree, a boy was born without a father. His mother, Besem, was a kind woman, but kindness did not shield her from the evil that came. They called her son Teko, which meant nobody's child. From the moment he could walk, Teko was trouble. He stole chickens, yams, even the chief's golden bangle. He was caught many times, beaten many times, but never killed. Not because he was loved, but because of two people, his sickly mother, who suffered enough, and his uncle, Okai, the king's closest advisor. The people hated Teko, but when the village's greatest treasure, the masquerade of the ancestors, was stolen, they had no choice but to turn to him. The masquerade was no ordinary artifact. It held the spirit of the ancestors, and during festivals, it was worn by the chief dancer, who became a vessel of power. It had been in Ubang for over 300 years. Then one night, it vanished. At first, they thought it was a rival village, but soon news reached Ubang that the mask had been sold to the white men. It was now in Europe, locked in a glass box. No warrior could cross the ocean and bring it back. No elder could survive such a journey. The only person reckless enough, cunning enough, and foolish enough to attempt it was the bastard thief. Teko was dragged before the king. The throne room was silent as the king spoke. "If you bring back the masquerade," the king said, "I will make you a prince. My daughter needs a husband. She will marry you, and you will be my son." The village gasped. Teko only smirked. Then his mother, lying on her deathbed, spoke for the first time in days. "Teko," she whispered, "you have brought shame to my name. Let me die proud." Teko swallowed hard. He bent and kissed her forehead. "I will bring it back, Mama." Teko set off, disguised as a trader. He found a ship bound for the land of the white men and stole his way on board. The journey was long, and Teko saw things he had never imagined. Vast waters that stretched beyond sight, cities made of stone, and people who did not speak his tongue. When he reached Europe, he learned the mask was in a museum, guarded day and night. They called it an artifact. To Teko, it was the heart of his people. For weeks, he planned. He watched the guards, learned their routines, and made friends with the night janitor, an old African who missed home. One stormy night, Teko slipped through the museum's windows. He moved like a shadow. The alarms were tricky, but his fingers were quicker. He caught the power, took the mask, and vanished into the night. By the time the guards realized, he was already at the docks. But the white men were not fools, they chased him. Teko ran through the city, dodging bullets and angry shouts, until he reached the ship that would take him home. When Teko returned, the village wept with joy. The king kept his promise. The bastard thief became a prince. He married the king's daughter, and when the king passed, Teko became ruler of Ubang. His mother died smiling. And though he was once a thief, he became a legend. They no longer called him Teko the bastard. They called him Teko, the first of his name, ruler of the Ubang people, traveler of dangerous seas, and redeemer of his name and clan.